frustrating is it to lose money in business? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, 10 being right out there, how frustrating is it to lose money in business? I'm telling you, I've lost a bucket load, and today I'm going to share with you 3 tips to ensure you don't lose money in your business, to ensure you're not wasting a single cent in what you do in your business. I get frustrated flushing money down the toilet through marketing campaigns that don't work, by having a product or service that just doesn't fly, or even an individual in our team that's not performing. Regardless of what it is, we can be flushing money down the toilet. And today I'm going to share with you 3 tips, 3 tips on how to ensure that doesn't happen. Good morning and welcome to JT in the Raw Show 125. Chris Stevenson representing you this morning. Chantel, good morning. Susan, good morning. Hope everyone is well on this fine Friday morning in Australia, or Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening in the Northern Hemisphere. Hope everyone's good. I am representing, morning Jack over there in New Zealand. I am representing Stevenson's Fitness, and my first shout out goes to you, big guy, Chris Stevenson, for an amazing little testimonial on how he uses the Fitness Business Podcast for staff training. Chris, thank you so much. That was an awesome little video you did for us this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So grateful for that. Morning, Eugene. Big shout out also to the Victorian roundtable members that we met with yesterday. Pete, I just saw you on the line. Great to have you on board this morning. Thank you for coming along yesterday and for us to work on the business. Thanks also to the PT business owners last week, meeting last Friday, where last Friday we focused on trends. In fact, it was awesome, a real discussion around trends, and I picked up some training trends that are impacting the PT business that I had no idea about. It was really interesting, and I'm really grateful for you guys being on the round table and talking about that. I've got a massive shout out today. Morning Frosty, morning Sully, how are you guys? Big shout out today to ABC Financial, One Fit Stop and Precor for your amazing support in 2019 for the Fitness Business Podcast. Thank you so much to you guys. I'm really grateful for the companies there supporting the podcast again next year. Thanks heaps, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Morning, Brett. Morning, Carol over there in West Oz. How are you? And then a big shout out also today to MyZone. Mike Beanie from MyZone has done an awesome little show that's being released today on technology in the fitness industry. It's a cracking little show. I've had a sneak listen. Is it a sneak peek? Sneak peek is what I see, but it's a podcast, so I listen. So it's a sneak listen. Just doesn't have the same ring to it, but a sneak listen to the show before it goes live, and it is awesome. Great insights into technology in the fitness industry. Make sure you grab hold of it and have a listen. It is well worth it. Mick Cunico, good morning. How are you over there in the land of Fitness First? Finally, a big shout out to Alicia. Alicia works for me, and this week she had a very honest conversation with me that I'm extremely grateful for. So thank you, Alicia, for putting down the barriers and being honest with me. Really appreciate that. Alan Leach, good morning. Good evening, I should say. Matty Parry, g'day. And Pete over there Peter McMillan over there in New Zealand. Oh, gee, those are some massive shout-outs. Massive shout-outs. So it's been a really interesting week for me, and I'm sure as business owners, as team leaders, as department leaders, we all go through emotional rides of running our teams and running our business. The other day, I think it was Wednesday, I had a big day planned, lots planned. Got an email, bounced back a response to that email, and then Alicia, who works for me, bounced an email back. And with that email going back to a consultant that we are using, I went, fuck. If you thought the video stopped then, it didn't. I went, fuck. sent an email to our consultant. The consultant came back. Alicia then replied, and the response made me go, fuck, and stopped me dead in my tracks. But I didn't really have time to think. So at this stage, my energy levels and my motivation around business is down here. And then I had to quickly jump into Zoe's school and sit there and watch her get an amazing award, a silver award at Assembly. And that took me up this high. So I've gone from this emotional low in business to this personal high. And then rang Alicia and said, what the hell are we doing? What the hell are we doing? And this is a fascinating thing. Morning, Julian. How are you, mate? Great to see you on board in New Zealand. And I talked about this in a JT in the Raw some time ago. In fact, it was show 58. Show 58. I talked about flogging a dead horse. In other words, at what point in business do we keep trying to drive a marketing campaign? Or at what point in business do we keep producing a product or delivering a service, or in fact, having an individual that worked for us? That's not a really nice term, an individual that works for us, calling them a dead horse. But any of those dead horses, how long do we keep flogging a dead horse in business before we finally pull the pin? And that was show 58. If you missed that show where I talk about flogging a dead horse, put 58 in the comments below. I'll send you the link to that show, and that'll give you a bit of an idea around flogging a dead horse and when is the opportune time to pull the pin. 58 in the comments. I'll share the show with you. So this week, I sat down with Alicia, morning Nikki, and she, over the phone, and she basically said, let me tell you the data. She said, let me tell you the data. In other words, what she was telling me was, I don't give a fuck what you think, JT. I don't care how passionate you are about this product. I don't care what you think of this service. Let me give you the data. And this is the most important thing I'm going to share with you right now this morning. In business, whether you are talking about a business, or whether you are talking about a department, or even if you're a sporting coach and you're talking about an individual in that team, analyze the data, and the data will help you make an objective decision. Analyze the data and it will help you make an objective decision. Often in business, we get so emotionally tied to something, so emotional about something. It's your baby. You came up with it. You're driving it and the passion is high, but the sales are low. The performance, the contribution is poor. And as much as you want to hold on to that, it makes no business sense. The data from your business makes no sense in continuing it. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, Dion. Hope you guys are well. If this resonates with you, give me a love heart right now. Whether you're watching live or on replay, give me a love heart right now if this resonates. When you analyze the data, what it determines is whether you should continue or not what you're feeling in your heart, because this is a business decision. And this week, speaking with Alicia, she gave me the data. And as much as I wanted to continue with one of our services, it makes no sense. It makes no business sense. I'm spending $500 a month on a consultant. I'm spending $500 a month on Facebook ads. I'm paying Alicia hours of work to do something. I'm paying another team member $250 a week. So I'm already up to nearly $2,000 a week. Sorry, $2,000. Nearly $4,000 a month. $4,000 a month. That's 48 grand a year for a product or a service that is not even generating me that back. But fuck, I'm passionate about it. I love what I do, but it makes no business sense. So what are my 3 tips for you other than analyzing the data in your business and using the data to make the decision, not necessarily your heart? Again, I don't care whether we are talking about an individual product. I don't care whether we're talking about a marketing campaign, and I don't care whether we're talking about an individual. We can use objective ways to judge a performance. Thanks, Jill. Jill's just put down, so true. We can use data to give an objective performance. But here are my 3 tips for you in your business right now to start analyzing and getting ready for 2019 if you have to. Here it is. Number 1 is everybody, and we'll have much better businesses if we did this. Everybody, whether you are an owner of a business, a manager of a business, or a leader of a department or team, everybody needs someone with 0 vested interest in the business to analyze that data with them. Let me say that again, because I'm passionate about this, because I've seen how this works and I've screwed it up in my own business. And it's this: you need someone with no vested interest to analyze the data with you and ask the hard questions. To ask the hard questions. Why? 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 Now, for some of us, that may in fact be our accountant. That may be our accountant. It may be a business coach. It may be a colleague. It may be several colleagues. But we need to have the intestinal fortitude to stand up and have somebody with no vested interest to ask the tough questions about our business, to ask the tough questions with that data around the product or the service, or ask the tough questions around that team member. Tip number 1, have someone with no vested interest analyze the data with you. If you like that, tip 1, give me a love heart right now. Love heart right now. Number 2, don't be emotionally tied. This is a really tough one because in business, we come up with projects. We employ somebody that we really like, or we design a marketing campaign that we think is awesome. It looks good. It looks great, but it's not producing results. The most successful people in business are not emotionally tied to products, services, people, campaigns. There's nothing wrong with passion, but emotionally tied means that we often make the wrong decisions in business. And that can lead to the downfall of our business. So tip number 2, don't get emotionally tied to your products. Don't get emotionally tied to your people, and don't be emotionally tied to your campaigns. If you like that one, give me a love heart. Number 3, you need to look for signs in the business, signs in the campaign, signs with people around the success. You're looking for success signs. And if you haven't got them, pull the pin. Now, the success signs is the data. But what I find a lot in business, guilty as charged right now, is this. We spend too much time in our business with our head up our own arse. I know that's crass, but for me, I've had my head up my own butt thinking about a product or a service and going, what the hell am I doing? And it's only when someone else looks at my business from the outside looking in, or looks at those numbers, or gives me that data, because they've looked at the signs and I haven't. So in business, what is critical, Dave, Johnny, good morning. What is critical in business for success is that we look for signs of success and we look for signs of failure, and then we act. And then we act. And often in business, it takes us too long to act. In all reality, if I'd looked at the signs, I would have made the decision I made this week about one of the services we offer. I would have made that decision 6 months ago, maybe 12. If I'd been honest with myself, if I'd not been passionate, if I hadn't had someone looking from the outside in, if I'd had someone doing all of those things, if I'd been all that, then I would have made the decision 6 months ago and I'd be wealthier right now. This is, please, ladies and gents, whether you're watching live or on replay, learn from my mistakes. Don't make the same mistake that I made. Understand these 3 tips. Tip number 1, have someone with no vested interest look at your business from the outside looking in. Ask them to ask the hard questions about the data in your business. Listen to them. Tip number 2, don't be emotionally tied to your product, your campaign, your people, your service, whatever it may be. And 3, always be looking for signs. Always be analysing that data to make the decision. Because if there's a trend happening, the data will show it. That's the signs. Stop living with your head up your butt and make that hard decision. If this resonates for you in business, if you think you can get any value out of this, give me a love heart right now, because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I've made. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that many business people make. Which one of these 3 do you need to be thinking about in your business? Is it 1, 2, or is it 3? Is it 1, you need someone from the outside looking in at your data who has no vested interest in the business to give you honest feedback in the business? Is it number 1? Put number 1 in the comments. Number 2, is it don't get emotionally tied to the business? Do you need to look more objectively at your business, at your people, at your campaigns? Is it number 2? Put number 2 in the comments in there. Or is it number 3? I've got an itchy nose. Or is it number 3, where you need to be more aware of the signs, where you need to be analysing the data more and looking for trends to see if, in fact, you're on target or not? 1, 2, or 3? What is it? In the comments right now. Put it in there. I want to hear from you, whether you watch live or on replay. Which of these 3 tips do you need to work on in your business? Wow, that's a big show. If you got any value out of the show, or you think you know anyone that could get any value out of JT and the Raw, please tag them in the comments below and share it. Share this, ladies and gentlemen. Susan and Carol have put number 2, which is don't get emotionally tied to our decisions, to our products, to our people, to our campaigns. Thanks, Susan and Carol, for being honest. Brett, number 1, have someone with no vested interest look at your business. Thank you for sharing, whether you're watching live or on replay. Remember, 1, 2, or 3. JT and the Raw, show 1, 2, 5, where I chew the thin. And I hope you got value out of it. If you did and you know someone that else could, please tag them in the comments. What's happening next week? Here, hold on to your hats. Don't go anywhere, because I've got a little offer coming up for anybody watching today. Okay, first up today, I have got the presentation day for Zoe's school, and she's getting an award. So 10:45, I'm going to be sitting in presentation day, and I think it goes for about 2 hours. So that should be rather exciting for 30 seconds. What else? Tomorrow is Robin's birthday. So we have a big celebration tomorrow for her big birthday. So we're out doing that. Next week, I have 11 one-on-one coaching calls with clients. 11 of them. I also have a few spare vacancies. So if you would like a complimentary 30-minute coaching call with me, put coach in the comments below. Put coach in the comments below, and we will organise a time between us to have a chat next week. It's free. That's it. Free. Coach in the comments below, regardless of your business, regardless of your sport, regardless of the team that you run or department that you run. Happy to have a chat with you about business and chew the thin with you for 30 minutes. Put coach in the comments below, and I'll see if I can go from 11 coaching calls next week to 22. Coach in the comments below. Also got a team development day next week with Woz Miller from Anytime Fitness. Looking forward to that. And the last thing I've got next week is I've got more planning for a massive announcement. This is not going to be big. This is a massive announcement that I'm going to do live on JT in the Raw on the 21st of December. It is going to rock the socks off the fitness industry in Australia. 21st of December, massive announcement, spread the word, get involved on that day. Ladies and gents, today's been a really raw, really authentic visit. And what's been important to me is to share, the authenticity of what it's like to be a small business owner, a lot like you. A lot like you. What's important to me is that you don't make the same mistakes I did. So the 3 tips I'm leaving with you today again are: have someone with no vested interest in your business look at your data, look at your numbers, and give you some advice. To ask the hard questions. I want you to also think, don't be emotionally tied to your products, to your services, to your campaigns, even your people. And number 3, look for signs that it's not working, or look for signs that it is working and that you can therefore repeat the actions to ensure the results continue. You got value out of the show, love heart me up now, please share it. Angus, coach. Carol, coach. So remember, in the comments below, coach, if you want a free 30-minute coaching session next week with me. 58, if you want to know when to not flog a dead horse. When to not flog a dead horse, put 58 in the comments below. And, of course, it's now that time of the week. Quote of the week. Quote of the week. Here it comes. To make serious money, get serious in decision making. To make serious money, get serious in decision making. I failed at that big time this year. I'm kicking myself in the ass. You guys don't do the same thing. To get serious money, get serious in decision making. Morning, Mr. Forster. How are you? Fresh off the beach, I'm sure, at Bondi Beach. Remember, ladies and gents, if you want a complimentary 30-minute coaching session, chuck coach in the comments below. I'll reach out to you. We'll have a chat next week for sure. JT in the Raw Show 126 returns same time next week. In the meantime, have an awesome week and I will catch you on the flip side.